Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Contest of Speed season finale here in Ardennes at Spa-Francorchamps. Uh, quickly, before we start, quick check up about driver standings. So P1 can't be changed because advantage of Jelt against Jack Hawkeye is too big. Jack Hawkeye and Konzo also will keep their positions. Pookie, in theory, might lose position to Matirobo. Borja, with 65 points, technically can lose position to Vabu, but really close battle between Vabu, Ricky, and J-Ray for P7 incoming. Then we have pretty tight battle between Almanac, Rosa Sky, Cornish Mantis, and Kepsi. That's battle for position 11. Jumping to Red Bull secured team championship at previous race. Mercedes and Williams still fighting for P2 at final standings. Alfa Romeo also close to them and technically might reach even P2. Alpine with P5 and not bad wishing for them, but I don't think that will be changed. McLaren with 123 points on P6, Ferrari 105, Aston Martin and Alpha Tauri 5 points between them only. So here we might see changed, and Haas closing the standings with 56 points. Meanwhile, jumping onto the track, pretty nice blue sky, and first drivers already on the outlap. So first one to start his flyer will be Kepsi, who's driving now through the Camel Straight. Cornish Mantis a second one on track, then Borja in Alpine. We see on the minimap another tracks going out. It's the longest track on calendar, to be exact 7,004 meters. And I do see we have a little bit of sound issue. Let me fix that quickly, or at least try to do this. No, now you can hear me twice, so that's not the best solution. Okay, sound works correctly. Meanwhile, Kepsi is going through sector 3 to finish his lap. He finishes out lap, of course, and we will see first benchmark for tonight's qualifying session. A little bit wider line through the bus stop chicane to get in more speed on the start-finish straight. Good on power at the exit after turn 1, heading to Eau Rouge section. Onto the Camel Straight, here is wide open. I see yellow flags in sector 3, but I believe that's only drivers preparing their tires. Obviously, purple sector 1 for Kepsi, who was the first one who started his flyer. Tricky downhill turn. Now easy to invalidate place. He kept it on track. Pretty tight line through here. Ferrari's getting out of the way to not impede his lap. Heading to sector 3, 13.7 on benchmark after 2 sectors. Now fast run to last heavy braking point before bus stop chicane. Nice braking, pretty decent speed, good exit, tears wide open, and 141.843. That's the benchmark. Cornish Mantus over a second slower with 42.965. Who I mentioned was next, Borja 43.0. So even slower than Alpha Tauri of Cornish. Meanwhile, Almanac 42.8 for P2. Maybe Ferrari of Vabu is on the outlap. So now Haffendobach 43.5. That's P5 for Williams driver. And who do we have? Distinct Vision P6 with 43.3. Not Tom Carter with invalidated lap. Ricky, where have you finished, Ricky? 42.5. That's provisional P3 for Alpine. And I believe reserving Crypto White with invalidated lap. He's not deploying his battery. Oh, no, he is still deploying, surprisingly. We see low fuel mode, so he won't be able to make another run. J-Ray with invalidated lap. I hope it wasn't caused by Red Bulls. Meanwhile, Vabu, Red Bull going wide, getting out of his way, and Vabu invalidated his lap as well. Mathieu Robo, it looks like lap wasn't invalidated, just wide open last meters of the lap, and 42.3, that's P3 pushing Ricky for P4. Oh, that was looking weird. Not Tom Carter decided to stay on track and make one more push lap. It looks like game showing us purple sector 2 for the Haas driver. Little bit of traffic now, but those guys getting out of the way for Haas of Tom. 43.4, that's P9 for Haas driver. It's first driver I noticed who was driving through bus stop chicane on second gear. So we are waiting now for second runs. If they will start to driving out right now, they will have enough time to make 2 attempts. But for some of them, it won't be necessary. So we have Crypto White on the outlap, behind him Vabu. I see Alpha Tauri as well. That would be J-Ray, I guess. Yes, it is. was comparing E in EU4, we had one drivers who started in every round of the season. Let me quickly check about EU3. In EU3, none of the drivers started in every round of the season, and here in EU2, the highest start counts is Mati with 14, equal of him Cornish Mantus with 14 as well, and Kanzo on P3 with 14. Evans joined. Meanwhile, Mati is... oh, apologies, it's not Mati. That Mercedes livery confused me a bit. It's Crypto White, tonight's reserve for Mercedes team, is starting his second push attempt. Invalidated first one. Behind him, J-Ray and Fabu. They swapped positions on the outlap. They're carrying on, so I guess it wasn't a mistake, or at least not that heavy mistake to cause any damage of on the cars. Crypto is going fast through sector 2, and he might be caught by traffic in front of him. I hope that won't happen. Gentle throttle. Now be careful to not invalidate over here. A little snap of understeer. But lap wasn't invalidated, that's most important for him. Last braking. Here is wide open, crossing to the finish line. 43.3, that's P8 at this point. J-Ray, what will you able to do? No, tough exit. 42.7. And Fabu with 43 flat, so that's P5 for Jerry and P8 for Ferrari of Fabu. Next one to complete his lap will be Kenzo at Williams' car on P3 in driver standings. Here is wide open, and time on the table is 42.836, just 12 milliseconds behind Almanac, and that's P7 for Williams driver. Garnishment has just started his lap, so let's try to find Alpine boys. Ricky will be first. He's not improving. How about Borja? Borja was improving, and he is in front of his teammate with 42.5 seconds on P4 for Alpine. Jelt, meanwhile, with new fastest lap of the session, 41.626. Does anything change in the other areas of the track? No, I don't see it. Doesn't look like this. So now Kepsi with the ears open, but he's not deploying battery, and he's losing 2.5 seconds after sector 1, so he is definitely not on the flyer. J-Ray is letting his teammate pass, so let's stick with Cornish Mantis, and let's watch the table because I see two cars, but they are heading to the pit lane, so let's not bother about them. And Cornish Mantis crossing the line with 42.3. That's currently P3 for the Alpha Tauri driver. Not Tom on his second attempt. A little bit of traffic. Oh, Alpine was on track, but it doesn't look like he impended his lap. Exit from... Oh, and losing rear end. That he's not going to be happy about this. 2 minutes 40 seconds till end of the session, so I guess he won't be able to make another run. Testing Vision and Haffentabak on the outlaps. So is Fabu. And so is Crypto White. Haffentabak started his lap. Couple of slow cars on the outlaps in front of him. Seeing yellow flag. Yellow flag is definitely causing one of them at least by not Tom. And Haffentabak. Oh, this is tight. Ferrari was able to get out of his way. Okay, so what's Mercedes doing? Distinct Vision will be second one, I believe, to finishing his last attempt. Distinct Vision, of course, reserving tonight as well. And game showing us purple sector 2 for Williams with half. He was improving by over 6/10. So I have to say that's pretty amazing result. Exit of bus stop chicane, there's wide open heading to the line, and that's P10 with 42.9. So let's quickly jump for this thing. We catch him as he was fighting with oversteering. Not Tom Carter, Kepsi and Ricky definitely won't improve their laps. They already retired from the session. I hope every single of them did this in pit lane. Well, Distinct Vision with a little bit of toe from Alpine in front of him, and that's P7 with 42.739. So who is next? Oh, it wasn't Mati with problems. It's Crypto who crashed. That have to be painful for second Mercedes driver. Mati invalidating his lap, so he won't improve. Haffentabak disqualified from the session. He parked out after the Colorado straight to let other drivers pass, and he stayed over there too long, gets disqualified from session. That's unfortunate for Williams driver. Konzo. Konzo will be the first one to cross the line. Session obviously is ending. We are waiting. Konzo jumping for P6. Matirobo was invalidating his lap. J-Ray with invalidation as well. Vabu improving by over half a second and 1.2 second improvement for Ferrari driver. That's position 3 for him. And his third of 3 who was able to go under 142. Here we have confirmation. Jelt Heldon leading on the qualifying session. Cap C in Red Bull completing the front row. P3 and 4 will be Vabu and Borja, Cornish Mantos and Matirobo P5 and P6, Konzo and Ricky P7 and P8, Distinct Vision and J-Ray completing the top 10, Almanac starting from P11, Crypto White P12, Natam Carter P13 and Half and Tabak. Unfortunate disqualified for him starting from back of the grid. Now formation lap will be off. Best strategy probably will be depending on tire wear on setups they are using. Medium to softs, or I guess hard to softs, if we won't get obviously a safety car. A little bit of cloudy above the track, so I'm wondering, will we get a touch of rain during the race? If I remember correctly, yesterday during EU3 race we had a little bit of rain. At some point, most of the drivers even decided to jump for full wet tires. Meanwhile, we're waiting for start. We see a beauty view of pit lane and podium. And here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and the Citroen Finale is starting. Looks like great start for Kepsi. Borja was able to overtake Fabu. Mati getting promoted. J-Ray overtaking Almanac. Crypto and Hafendobok fighting. Almanac swapping positions with J-Ray. No incidents. I see Borja. Borja on through the grass onto the lead of the race. What an impressive move by Alpine driver. A lot of position swaps. I hope... Oh, there is a contact and J-Ray is out of the session. It's virtual safety car right now. So we have a while to check the tire choice. So from P1 to P7, that means, and P10. So Borja, Kepsi, Jelt, Vabu, Cornish, Matirabo, Konzo, and Crypto decided to start on medium compounds. So it's J-Ray who sadly is out from the race. The rest of the grid, so Almanac, Hafendabak, Ricky, Natam, and Distinct decided to jump for soft compound. Obviously that virtual safety car with Delta. And is it? Yes, it is. We have rain around the track. So that's definitely a little bit of helpful situation for soft runners. And rain always came with some, let's say, unexpected things. especially at long tracks like here in Spa. Nattam Carter and Distinct heading to pit lane, both with wing change, both on intermediate tires already. I don't believe the conditions are already for inters. As after pit exit, we can clearly see on deltas that both Tom and Distinct are losing the gap to the rest of the field, so it's way too early for intermediate compound, while Porsche is still leading the race. Let's quickly check the position change. The race starts, so Hafen currently on P9 with biggest improvement, 5 position up. Borja and Almanac both 3 position promoting. Crypto and Natam with 1 position up. Distinct Vision with biggest loss of 4 positions. Jelt losing 2, Vabu losing 1, Kanzo losing 1, and Ricky losing 2 positions. And Ricky heading to the pit lane already. So is Crypto White. Interested. Show me, boys, your choice. We see Crypto is going for intermediates. So is Ricky. Now Nat Tom is still losing. Oh, apologies for that. By a mistake. I pressed Windows button on my keyboard. But Almanac and Konzo overtaking Mati Rabo. We've seen a yellow flag, so I assume there was a little bit of a mistake for Mercedes driver. We see his end plate is missing on the right side. So it's back to leading 3. Kepsi is pulling a huge pressure on leading Alpine, and with him, it actually might be enough wet to jump in for intermediate compound. Oh, there was so close to the contact between Red Bulls. Kepsi is heading to the pit lane, so I assume intermediate compound for Red Bull driver. Hafendabok and Mati going as well. Mati obviously have to change his front wing. No, J-Ray, I apology. It wasn't on stream. Ricky, after his early pit for intermediate compound, already came back for 9th position. Maturable swapping positions with Crypto on pit exit. Gelt is closing the gap to Borja. We can see the red lights are flashing, so it's already wet conditions on the track. We see splashes of water around the cars, so now the question is how big will be their loss. We seen within one corner Kepsi catched the Vabu by over a second. So condition change is huge. Will we see full wet tires tonight? 3-second penalty. First victim of track limits, that was Ricky. Like Konzo and Almanac close to each other. Almanac on soft. Konzo on medium compound. And Konzo spans out! Oh, and it looks like he is hanging on the curb. He's not able to move. Deer is disabled. Okay, I believe Kenzo decided to use reset to track. He had no choice, otherwise he would be disqualified from the session. And what is that? Kepsi fighting with Borja for position 2, but I'm pretty sure it's net P1 because Jelt, not sure why, didn't decided to jump to the pit lane. Borja with Kepsi fighting side by side at the end of the combo straight. There was a little bit of contact, I believe. Kepsi get this position, I believe, out of the track. He had to let Alpine pass back. And they lost 2 seconds to leading Jelt because of that incident. But I'm really sure that they will start to catching up quickly. Ouch, apologies for that. My cat is looking for my fist on his face. Yeah, within 1, 2, 3 turns, Jelt lost almost 2 seconds of his advantage, and he's keep losing. And he didn't decided to pull in for another time, so maybe he's considering to extend this stint on medium compound to jump in for full wets. Webu and Haffendobach really close to each other. Williams driver was braking a little bit later than Ferrari to last up chicane. There was close to the contact, but nothing happening, thankfully. Now Williams with a bit better exit, but Fabu is able to run out. Meanwhile, Borja and Klepsi close behind him managed to close up for another 2 seconds to leading Jelt. Jelt, we know that you are a champion already and you can't be detronized, but come on, don't do anything stupid. Maybe he will try to slow down Borja to help his teammate win this race. You see, but the gap is melting. At the start of the lap it was 14, now it's only 8 seconds and they are closing and closing in. It's not even with every corner, it's with every meter of the race. Jelt, it looks like he will lose around 10 seconds only on this lap. And he is carrying on this mediums. Yeah, he lost around 10 seconds, I wasn't mistaken. Meanwhile, Vabu managed to run out from Havenderbeck, but Hanzo and Crypto swapped positions. Jelt with 3-second penalty for track limits. Distinct and Tom, I'm pretty sure there was a contact between them. Distinct jump immediately to No, he didn't, so I guess that was only a visual bug for me. And Borja already less than half a second behind Gelt. Gelt sliding for downhill turn, and he is dropping to P3. I mean, rain looks pretty hard, so I guess yes, he know that it's raining, but who knows what he is going to do. My best shot would be he wasn't interested in Jelt dropping even further back, currently on P5. Maybe he was hoping that full wet conditions will come way faster and he won't lose time for additional pit stop. Maybe. Almanac meanwhile left the session, I guess. Oh, and Gelt very late braking. He cuts the bus stop chicane, now heading to the pit lane. Almanac sadly left the session. I guess that's the connection issue for Aston Martin driver. Migrating host, everyone is leaving, or this is something with my connection. Let me quickly find some confirmation of that. Everyone left. Okay, what the hell happened around there? Let me quickly check what's going on with Ricky. Okay, looks like I get the connection drop. So I will try to join back to the session. Yes, apologies for that. No idea what happened, but it looks like it was a connection drop for me only. And we are back. I don't see any critical changes comparing to moment where I get disconnected from the session. Yeah, of course, blame BK. That's unfair. He's a nice guy. Offenbach and Ricky are pulling pressure on the Almanac. I hope that Almanac is back on the session. Offenbach, oh, interesting move by Williams driver, and he lost position back to Almanac and position to Ricky as well. Now Ricky is pulling a pressure on Aston Martin in front of him. And praying that Aston is not an AI driver. It's still Ricky with 3 seconds pedal, and Ricky and Huffendobbach sliding through the track. And Ricky is gone. Konzo hits. It looked like it was Konzo. Yes, Konzo with 5-second penalty for serving collision with Ricky. Hoffendobok also DNF'd. That's a huge drama, and that's looks like comeback to the race for Distinct and not Tom. Borja and Kepsi were too far on the track to get this free pit stop advantage. Almanac didn't box as well, so he's promoted to P3. So I assume Aston Martin is still driving as an AI. Also, great comeback for Gerald, who is currently on P6. Cornish Manchus on P4, and that might be a rough restart for AlphaTauri driver, because I still assume Almanac is getting driven by AI. So now 11 drivers still on the play. Devstorm, what actually happened that you have no power? The line gets broken or what? Actually, okay, we see Borja is and Kepsi are going to the pit lane. 17 seconds advantage on Almanac and about 19 and a half on Cornish Mantis. So Borja on hard tires. That's huge. What a mistake. Almanac and Cornish Mantis heading to the pit lane as well. Meanwhile, we see Kepsi on mediums. Cornish Mantis 4 mediums. I can see Almanac and Cornish. Well, he didn't get this position from Aston Martin. Crypto White is retiring from the session. Something has to happen around pit lane. Meanwhile, Fabu decided to go on hards, and that's P3 for Ferrari driver. Only 10 on track, so boys, just be wise. And don't do stupid things, you will get your points. Anyway, what I wanted to say, it's safety car, so let me quickly try to invite a guest. Here comes chat. Okay, invitation sent. Apologies for that pause mini. And it looks like track is drying up really quick. Don't see any splashes of water around the cars. So now let's check the tires. So Borja on P1, Vabu on P3, Almanac on P4, and this thing on P9 with hard compounds. Kepsi on P2, Cornish Mantis on P5, Gelt on P6, Konzo on P7, Mati on P8, and Not Tom on P10 on medium compounds. Let me quickly try to message the Ricky to send you invite back. Okay, I messaged Ricky to send you an invitation almanac, so let's hope he will read my message. Natam is pretty far back from the rest of the field. And I do believe, no matter if he will catch up or not, safety car will be in this lap. One more thing before restart, position changes. Almanac with 7 positions promotion, Natam with 3, so as Borja, Gelt losing 5 positions, Maturable losing 2, rest of the boys remain on position they were starting. Yes, I can show tires. Here you are. We haven't confirmation of safety car in this lap. So I was wrong. It shouldn't be called that late. So we have one more lap under safety car conditions. So it looks like drivers who decided to jump in onto medium compounds made a better call. Meanwhile, Not Tom is heading to the pit lane once again. He was on mediums. What are you planning to do, Tom? Are you going for soft run?
Hello, hello.
Good evening, Ricky.
If I am in trouble.
Did you manage to invite back Almanac?
No, because I was too busy cursing at my own stream.
Oh, okay. I get it.
But I will invite him now when I get a chance. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, to be honest, I noticed that both of you and Huff were sliding, and I switched to your onboard camera, and I catched the moment when I believe it was Konza hits you.
Yeah, I mean, from my personal point of view, I got spun by Huff and Dobak, which was pretty poor racecraft. And then I reversed just out of pure frustration. And then I realized that I was going back onto the racetrack. So I stopped. Obviously, when you're in the way of traffic, you know, the number one thing is to stop. So I literally stopped. Thankfully, Matty was able to avoid me, but the Konzo completely just, really frustrating because I felt there was enough time for Konzo to react to avoid me.
Yeah, that's
And it just looked like from my perspective that he just didn't take any care going into a yellow zone. So
Yes, exactly. That's the main lesson of racing. Be aware of flags around you.
absolutely, I wasn't best pleased, as you can tell. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, what I struggle with the pace. I had constant screen freezes. Yeah, I think I went from P6 to P11 or something off the start just through pure screen freeze.
Yeah, and
Um,
I managed to read some notes about recent update of Win 11 are slowing down plenty of computers. People are complaining a lot about this, so that might be that.
yeah, it might be. I mean, it's certainly
Meanwhile,
not the internet or anything like that. But we are
meanwhile,
going.
Bozja pulled away before the bus stop chicane. Merkepsi didn't slept out. It looks like no one slept out. Distinct vision is pretty far from Mati. It's over 1 second already. But we don't see any moves.
Yeah, it looks like Yelt's benefited from the safety car here. I'm not sure what his strategy was doing, but he was definitely on the wrong strategy.
Natam, meanwhile, managed to overtake Distinct for P9. Now he needs to pull out from McLaren driver for at least 3 seconds because of time penalties. I believe it's 3 seconds. Yes, it is. So Jilt and Tom only with penalties, both with 3 seconds. Yeah, Jilt was definitely on wrong strategy. It was heavy rain.
Kept making a move round the outside on the exit of Puyon. He goes up the inside of Barita, and that is the Red Bull man up to P1, and he's got the pace here, Kepsi. He's been similar pace to Yelt in qualifying, and
Yeah, Borja managed to overtake them quickly, but it looks like medium was better call after this restart, especially that we have pretty long safety car period. But Vabu is losing the pace, still leading two. It's almost 1 second.
yeah, the problem with Vabu as well. Not only is he on the hard tire, he's got a flux of mediums right behind him, and
Yeah, Almanac on Hearts lost 2 positions already. Dropped from P4 to P6. Now DRS enabled on this lap. Borja is not losing that much pace. I believe 6 tenths might be, but he's closing super fast. I believe he is deploying a lot of battery. But yes, he was too far back to attack at the end of the Camel Straight. Meanwhile, Konzo managed to overtake Almanac for P6. Vabu closed up to leading to a bit, but he's under the huge pressure from Cornish Mantus and Geld behind them. Konzo and Almanac really close to them as well, so is Mati Robo. Not with DRS range. Distinct Vision is losing quite a lot of gap to them. It's already over 2 second loss to Not Tom. So something might be wrong with that McLaren.
yeah, maybe he's got some damage, but just stay on board with Mantis because he's the one on the mediums. He's got Yelp behind him. We know Yelp is quicker. And Mantis really needs to make these mediums count right now. He's got the pace advantage, he's got the tyre advantage against the P2 and P3. I'd imagine Kempsey will bolt out of here this next lap. So Mantis right now is the man on the move. Oh my days!
Gentle
Babu
snap.
gets out Babu got out of shape. Yeah, and this is the time for Mantis because Babu is out of the DRS zone. So Mantis, all of a sudden, in prime position to jump into P3.
They were lucky it didn't end it way worse than it does. Mantus already tried to make a move through Radio. And Jelt is joining the fight. Mantus is overtaking Vabu. Jelt straight behind him.
Yeah, Mantus needs to use his Eddie. He needs to let Yelt go. Yelt's got that 3-second penalty, and Yelt will push him along, bring him closer to the Alpine.
Yeah, indeed, defending against Jelt.
Oh, there we go. It's a bit of a send.
Best.
Clean. It's clean.
Clean and really brave move by Red Bull driver.
Great racing from both, though. To be fair, that was it was hard defending, hard attacking, and in the end, it's the Red Bull who gets through. And you just watch him; he'll push him along, and yeah, Mantus in a good position here. Only 7 laps to go, including the one they're on.
And Borja is struggling with pace behind Kepsi. He lost DRS. And Jelt is closing. Mati, meanwhile, third victim of track limits. And he lost DRS on Almanac in front of him. So that might be a way for Nattam to get the position.
Yeah, I'm just going to get the tyre graphic out. I mean,
starting lap 17. Mati and Nattam are fighting. They're side by side, but Nattam is flashing. We can see his red light flashing, so he drained out his battery. And now he will be sitting back against that Mercedes on the Camo straight. Meanwhile, Jelt without DRS and Cornish Mantus is on the attack mode.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to pass though. He needs to be sensible here. Just stick with Yelt, and he'll get the position anyway.
Yeah, and
by fighting, it'll just cost them both time. So
yeah, Mati Robo get back.
Oh,
position.
Ferrari round! Vabu, he spun it. Oh, and he needs to be careful. And cars need to be careful. There's a car on the track.
Oh there was a close to the contact between Vabu and this thing.
I thought my rejoin was bad.
That was for sure dangerous. Return to the track.
There we go. Almanach on the back of the Williams with Konzo. Konzo not looking like he's got too much pace. He's 2.8 seconds behind Cornish Mantus. Yeah, Cornish Mantus looking good right now.
Cornish Mantus looks good, and to be honest, I was racing against Almanac. He is decently fast driver, and Konzo got better tires at this stage because Konzo is on mediums. Almanac is pushing really hard on this hard compound, while Jelt only 2 tenths behind Borja.
Yeah, Borja's in a bit of trouble. He's got no sort of defense here. He may have some ERS, but going up to Radion and towards Lecom, he's just going to be a sitting duck regardless.
Yeah, and to be fair, all 3 of them, Borja, Jelt and Cornish, are of similar battery right now. So this might be really intense, but with tire disadvantage for your teammate,
yeah,
I don't see a bright future for him. Jelt managed to overtake him before braking zone, and Nattam is overtaking Mati again. Almanac wasn't able to overtake Konzo for P5.
Yeah, this is the problem though. Mantus now, he can't afford to be stuck behind the Alpine because what it'll do is it'll give Yelp that 3-second buffer. You got a yellow flag. Vabu
is retiring, and
it is
a safety car, and Vabu made a mistake.
It is
2 laps a row at the same place.
I don't think you can pit if you're at the front because there's too many people behind who may stare and get track position. If you're distinct vision at the back, softs are absolutely the call.
Yeah, but you need to be aware that you have to catch up to the field really, really quick because I'm pretty sure safety car won't be called later than end of lap 20. I believe that was the script of the game, that you have at least 2 laps.
The soft is such an advantage tyre here. The soft is such an advantage tyre here. because you only get certain laps with the softs at their best. I'm not expecting too many people to pit here, but I expect sort of the midfield / back of the track field to pit, and Almanac does dive in. No,
So
not a
Almanac
surprise.
is diving to the pit lane. Mati and not
Yeah.
Tom diving as well.
Oh, and
Distinct
as
staying out.
he has missed an absolute golden opportunity. I
He
cannot
nearly,
get my head around that.
but what he was doing over there, he nearly stopped at the exit of bus stop chicane.
I do
So I
not
believe,
understand that at
so
all.
I believe his thoughts was like, crap, what have I done? Can I go back reverse and jump into the pit lane? That's probably the only explanation for this I can find. But now, Borja,
I, yeah, that's a strange one for me. He had a free pit stop. He would have still been P9, but he would have been on the quickest tire. 3 people ahead of him would have had penalties, so he would have. There's 3 positions there.
I mean two.
Yeah, this
Two,
is
because it's not Tom and Mati. I assume Jelt would be too far in front of him anyway.
potentially, but on the soft tire that wouldn't. I don't know, but for me, this shows lack of league racing experience, making decisive decisions at crucial times. Okay, it's only the last race of the season, and there's not really anything riding on it, but it will help him going into future seasons and future races. This kind of decision making.
Yeah, that's the racing. You need to pick up your decisions quickly, and having what would call
Well, I'd like to see the
race
race
engineer
go,
helping a lot with situations like this.
Yeah, this isn't good for Distinct. I mean, at this point, I would be committed to if the safety car stays out. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get overtaken by the 3 cars behind you. You're not going to go forward. You're going to go backwards. Like he has to pit this lap. If
he has to
I
pit
can't get
this
my
lap
head around
because
it.
safety car for sure will be gone at the end of next one.
And there he goes. I mean, he's coming in for softs, but he could have easily given his potential advantage away.
Let's try
by
to
staying
get
out the extra
confirmation
lap.
of his choice. Maybe
There we go.
softs, but because of that papaya orange suits of mechanics, for a moment I was pretty sure it was medium compound.
Yeah, let me just have a look at the standings because I think there is a battle going on for the constructors in terms of sort of P.
Mercedes and Williams are fighting for P2, I believe.
Yeah,
That was close
and
between them.
Alpine are fighting with no, they're not really. I think Alpine at this point would consolidate P5, so we'll take that in Alpine, considering we were bottom when myself and Boyer started. So. Let's not talk about that, BK. What I did was fully legal, if it was illegal.
Well, BK, there is a center things that we're not speaking about. So that's incidents of Ricky and that's EU2 Monaco race. We're not speaking about that.
Yeah, EU2 was a bit crazy, but there we go. And just to point out, a little bit of a plug here, we will have some Season 13 information out once the Season 12 has concluded. I won't be signing up myself, but hopefully you're there, Red Panda, and we'll see you again in the commentary booth.
Yeah, count me in.
Yeah,
as I said you before, like I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks ago. When you texted to me. Okay, we have confirmation.
Yeah, but
safety car in this lap.
I text a lot of people, mate, so I forget about messages.
We will get a 2-lap sprint. Jelt is in position 2 and with 3-second time penalty. That might be a really crucial thing for him. Not Tom and Mati on P6 and P7, they might be dropped as well because of 3 seconds. Surprisingly, Konzo is driving pretty far behind Cornish.
There we go. Kepsi's gone.
There we go. Kepsi's early pulling out.
Oh, Mantis nearly went into the back of Boyer. Boyer's struggling with traction coming off the exit of bus stop chicane, which you can expect. Cold tyres, and he's already 8 tenths behind.
Overtaking Konzo.
Oh, a lovely switchback by Almanac on Matty Robbo for P8.
Yeah, but
P7,
Almanac is losing position back. I'm watching Not Tom, who is attacking Mantus. And Not Tom is in front of that AlphaTauri. He's now trying to catch up to Borja in front of him. Purple sector 1 for Haas driver. Almanac with unfortunate 3 second time penalty. Apologies for that. Almanac overtaking Mati and Konzo with 1 move. So I believe there was a little bit of mistake by Mati.
Almanac and Mantis fight. Oh, Almanac has hit Mantis going through Puyon. Thankfully, it only affected Almanac, but it was...
This thing overtaking Mati.
Yeah, he's really pushing these on those softs against, old mediums.
And look, Borja already nearly 2 seconds behind Mantis, losing position to Almanac. And Borja already over 1.5 seconds behind leading Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Here in EU2, I noticed that since Kepsi joined, Red Bulls are just dominating.
Oh yeah, it's Almanac and Mantis. Mantis round the outside. Great move there from Mantis.
And Not Tom overtaking.
Almanac with a lovely
switchback. Meanwhile, Tom managed to overtake Borja for P3. Now he needs to pull away by 3 seconds if he wants to keep that podium spot. And he has only 1 lap to do this. It won't be easy call for
What they need to do is swap Kepsi and Yelt around and hold up Not Tom Carter. Because they can still get a 1-2 here, Red Bull, without compromising it.
Yeah, so gap between Jelt and Not Tom is 1.8. Distinct and Mati.
Oh.
And it looks like Red Bulls are listening to you because they swapped the positions.
Yeah, and there we go.
Almanac is overtaking Borja. That's P4 for the Aston Martin driver. We see his red light is flashing, so is Not Tom. And Almanac overtaking Not Tom for P3. That's huge rage for Aston Martin driver.
Yeah, Mantis is the one. He needs to pass the Alpine because that is for the podium, essentially.
Distinct with Konzo side by side. Almanac is overtaking Kepsi.
Where's Mantis gone?
Mantis is on P7. Oh, this crash!
Oh my god! Tom. Oh my god, what has just happened?
Tom crashed with Kepsi. Borja with 5 seconds time penalty for hitting.
Cornish Mantis is going to get a P2 at this rate. Or is he going to... I mean, Almanac's going to win.
Side by side Konzo.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Yelt wins.
Almanac winning. Almanac P2, Mati for P3, but they are dropping back for...
Konzo's reversing over the line.
1 position down because Cornish Mantus on P2, Konzo P5, Distinct Vision P6, Borja P7 and Kepsi on P8.
I'd like to see Tom Carter's point of view there. I can only think that Kepsi has tried to hold up Tom in an area where it's flat out and there's been some sort of collision.
Okay, before we jump into interviews, quick update. Match is done. United won with Chelsea 2-1.
Chelsea went 2-1.
No, Chelsea lost, sadly.
Ah, that's a shame.
I see comments on chat that Kepsi lost the car, so maybe traction problems for Red Bull driver. We have
Yeah,
here
yeah.
final standing confirmation. Gelt winning the race, Corning Mantush on P2, Almanac on P3,
That is
starting from
crazy.
P11. So
Do you know what?
impressive racecraft for Aston Martin driver. Mati Robo P4, Konzo P5, Distinct Vision P6, Borja P7, Kepsi P8, Nat Tom P9, and he was the last one classified in race. Vabu P10, Crypto White P11, Hafendabak P12, Ricky P13, and J Ray on P14. So Gelt, Cornish Mantus, and Almanac. Almanac, Cornish Mantus, and Gelt. Invitation sent. Let's switch a scene.
That's great. I mean, Belgium can provide. Um,
Everything.
yeah, yeah. It's one
Like,
of them. It definitely felt like an end of season race, didn't it? Well, certainly from a driver's perspective.
yeah, and to be honest, I'm impressed of Gel's win, especially because that's quite huge strategy mistake with staying out on medium compounds that long, especially with quite heavy rain. Will some of them decide to jump into us for a little chat?
Well, hopefully, it would be nice. I think it's probably worth getting uh, the champion. And is it? Has there been a champion?
Now, Gelt secured his championship last race, so as Red Bull.
Nice. Um, well, let's see, shall we? Who's coming into invites?
I already sent invitations to them and nothing happening right now. So let's give them one more minute.
Yeah, let's do. And then we can call it. It's going to be well, while no one's in, we're going to call it AM1. Will be taking place at 2 a.m. GMT. Well, that is 9 p.m. Eastern time. And if anyone is looking to get involved in league racing, contest of the speed is the place to come and join as we head towards season 13 in just a few weeks.
Okay, looks like no one from the podium sitters is interesting to join us up for a little chat.
Sad face, sad
So
face.
before we end this stream, quick confirmation from Kepsi. He lost the car on curb. That's what he said on chat. So that was really unfortunate for him and for Tom as well. Anyway, Ricky, thank you for joining me.
Well, yeah, it's no problem, mate.
Your join woke me up a bit because at
Yeah,
some point under the safety cars I was just falling asleep nearly.
standard.
For you on the chat, thank you all for joining us tonight, and chat to you tomorrow on EU1 season finale.
Yes, yes, you will.
Uh, no, I won't say that I will cover AM1 because I'm close to that. Anyway, once again, thank you all for joining us. For those who will be interested, AM1 on 2 a.m. GMT
2
or
a.m.
3
Yeah, so
a.m.
it's in like three and a
Central
half hours.
European.
So 3.5 hours. AM1, the quickest guys in AM
The quickest guy in
apparently.
AM, and I see you tomorrow on EU1. Thank you all and have a great, great night.